Noi Savariantam, Namo Noi Savairiam, Namo Noi Savajayanam, Namo Noi Savatrikavati Savanam, Omkara Mindu Sayuktam Jayanti, Kamadam Mokshadochi Omkarai Namo, Mangalam Bhagavanu, Mangalam Kunkundari Ujendra Mutsudan Namasanasana. Om
Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Arantanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Ayaryanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Ojayanam. Om Namo Loya Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Karo Sarva Pava Panasano Manglalancha Sarvesing Padamam Havai Mangalam Omkaram Bindu Samyuksam Nityan Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Cheva Omkaraya Namo Nama Namo Samaysaraya Swano Bhutyachakasate Chitsapavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Nama Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Saranasau Jayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Etirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarno Kundano Dvani Divino Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamel Sarve Siddhane Vandi Kaho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Mu Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanamaya Kare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nati Are Jamanetra Tema Jignana Nati Karaka Nati Vedaka Are Jani Jakarmo Daya Nirajara Bandate Majamokshane Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Suddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra, everybody. So we'll start some of the things we'll do it from last week also, because we introduced very heavy concept last week, and I want to make sure that it really everybody understands that thoroughly, because that's a whole crux of this Samaysar, whole crux of this metaphysics, whole crux of this Dravyana Yoga is how do I perceive knowledge, how a knowledge occurs in a soul. And that is very important concept. How is a knowledge occurring? Knowledge is occurring because because there is a knowledge attribute within me, and because there is attribute, that attribute is included into the soul substance. There's a whole soul substance here, and there are infinite attributes within, out of which the knowledge attribute is most important. And that's why we give lots of importance to knowledge attribute, and we dissect it to the absolute microscopic level to understand how a knowing phenomenon occurs. Attributes and soul substance are like an ocean. They are stable, they are inert, they are vast, they are always there. They were never been created, never been destroyed. Soul and knowledge attribute. As I say attribute, there are infinite attributes. We are making every other attribute as secondary, and we are making knowledge attribute as a primary. So the soul is knowledge, knowledge attribute is soul, and so they are kind of having inherent relationship. Just like the sugar cannot be without sweetness, sweetness cannot be without sugar, sugar and sweetness cannot be separated out because they have inherent relationship. Soul and knowledge attribute have inherent relationship. They cannot be separated out. They are inert. They are there forever. They were never created, never be destroyed. Then what happens? That knowledge attribute gives knowledge modifications, knowledge mode, knowledge paryay, gnan paryay. Just like the ocean gives the waves. When you're sitting at the bank of the ocean, then there is on the beach, then there are waves after waves after waves after waves. They keep on coming forever and ever and ever. The wave comes, breaks, back goes back to ocean. Second wave comes, breaks, goes back to ocean. So this kind of phenomenon keeps on occurring in the waves, means in the mode, means the knowledge attribute and soul substance remain constant like an ocean, and the waves are the modifications, and that wave is a knowledge mode. And how is that knowledge mode is functioning? That's what we are talking about. So we'll go through a slide. Let me bring the slide that we would like to start with. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. Okay. You can see the slide, right? Somebody can say yes.
Yes, yes.
So now what we talked last week, and some of the things will be repeated because it's very important concept to digest. So this is soul substance and has infinite attributes within. And these are the things, these are what we are talking about. Vibrators, no, I don't want to go through this side. We have talked this one a lot. So let's go to the next one. Okay, here, yeah. So the knowledge mode, here is a knowledge mode in the form of mirror, and he is an object of knowledge, and that object of knowledge is known as Gne, but that's object of knowledge. Okay, so that's a peacock. Now, what happens? That object of knowledge gets illuminated into the mirror. And so what I believe, that illumination of the object in the mode occurs. So this is the object of knowledge. This one is illumination of the object into the knowledge mode. What I believe, that if illumination is due to an object, then there is impurity in the knowledge mode due to presence of an object. Means, Gne Krut Asuddhata, that's a word. What it is, if I believe that the peacock was present, and that's why there is reflection into knowledge mode, then it's an impurity in the knowledge mode, because knowledge mode has to depend on outside object to illuminate within. See, it's simple thing. Object is present, illumination is there, so all illumination is occurring because of object. But Acharya Kunkun Swami says, no, that's not true. And he says, if we strongly believe that object of knowledge is present and that's why there is a illumination occurred, then there is a impurity in the knowledge mode, and there is knowledge mode cannot have impurity. So now Kunkun Swami gives a different concept to us. He says, okay, listen carefully. He says, this is my soul substance and this is my knowledge attribute. These two are in the unison. The two are indivisible. The two are identical. It's like a sugar and sweetness. So soul substance and knowledge attribute, they are basically one and the same. Now, this knowledge mode, knowledge attribute has a knowledge mode. And this knowledge mode is like a mirror. We just take the example of mirror over here. So knowledge mode is represented in the form of mirror. And what happens? This knowledge mode has its own shape occurring. All right, once again, this knowledge mode has capacity to generate its own shape over here. So, soul substance, knowledge attribute, knowledge mode, they all work in one unit, and this mode was predestined to occur at this moment to have certain shape. So what was that shape was going to be? That shape was supposed to be a peacock. And when that shape occurred, because of the knowledge mode with his own capacity, then at that time outside there is an object of knowledge present which is working as an instrumental cause. So no object of knowledge was present, but this knowledge mode created the shape of the peacock by itself. For example, if this mirror, when we talk knowledge mode, we are just talking as mirror. If this mirror was dirty, then there won't be a perfect picture of the peacock over here. Or instead of this mirror, let's presume that there is a wall. Will there be any illumination in the wall, in the block wall? There won't be any illumination. So the mirror is the reason for having illumination occurring, and that mirror means knowledge mode coming from knowledge attribute, coming from soul substance, and those three things are working in unison. So soul substance has a knowledge attribute, has a knowledge mode. This knowledge mode was predestined to occur in this shape only. So this is the thing. It was, and at that time, object of knowledge was present. So object of knowledge, we do accept that object of knowledge was present, but we don't get stuck to that. We simply said, yeah, its presence was there, but it did not do any work. The whole work, let me just bring this pen over here. The whole work occurred, whole work occurred in this guise, this unit only. At that time, the object is present as an instrumental cause, as a separate entity. So we don't deny that the object was present. What we are saying, the action occurring in this knowledge mode was independent of its own, and it was not dependent on anything else. So this more modification at this point was predestined to occur in this form only, and at that time, exactly at that time, object of knowledge was present. So we are not denying this guy. We are just saying simply, I am the reason. If this mirror was not there, there won't be any reflection. There won't be any illumination. Instead of mirror, if there's a wall, there won't be any illumination. So this knowledge mode coming from soul substance is the reason for knowledge to occur. So this is the very important take-home message that we have to have it. And last week, I think last week, Ankit asked a question about Swapa Prakashak. We are coming to that one in the next slide. But I want to make sure this concept is clear in our mind. So now, what it is, this knowledge mode has a capacity to know. Naturally, this knowledge mode has capacity to know. What does it know? It knows the self as a mirror, and it also knows the shape of the shape that occurred within. So this knowledge mode ends up knowing the shape that is occurring within. Now, remember last week we went through in detail about object of knowledge. Here we took peacock, but remember we had those 4 things: house, money, family, etc. is one object. My body is another object. My material karma is 3rd object, and 4th object was inclination, attachment, and aversion, rag and dvesh. So instead of object of knowledge being peacock, if I put inclination of attachment over here, then inclination of attachment will be having illumination in my knowledge mode. And what does my knowledge mode will know? It will know the shape of inclination of attachment occurring in the knowledge mode. So what does the knowledge mode will know? It's a illumination of the inclination of attachment occurring within the knowledge mode will be known. So the knowledge mode does the function of knowing. Is illuminated that knows about it. So here is a rag and dvesh, inclination of attachment and aversion. Here is a reflection of it, or illumination of it. And knowledge mode knows this thing. Knowledge mode does not go out and know this part. Knowledge mode knows only the illumination of rag and dvesh within the knowledge mode. So this is what Acharya Kunkun Swami is going to talk in this stanza number 6, that my information is my knowledge mode, and my knowledge mode knew the illumination of rag and dvesh. We took the example of dog last week. A dog is chewing the bone, and with chewing the bone, he is having the blood coming out from the palate, and he's tasting the sweetness of the blood. What does he think? Oh, my sweetness of the blood is coming from this material, this bone over here. Actually, he's tasting his own blood. Similarly, rag and dvesh, likes and dislike, inclination of attachment and aversion, anger, heat, ego, greed, they are the object of knowledge. My knowledge mode has illumination of those things, and my knowledge mode knows them on. So this is the exact process of knowledge, knowing action occurring in a given soul substance. Having said that, we can just go next and just see what happens. Now we are going to talk about, one second, let me just, so if I believe that my knowledge is occurring because of object being present, then it's going to be wrong knowledge. If I believe that the object is present, and that's why I have knowledge. So if I just start strongly believing that way, then it's called wrong concept. So what is that wrong concept means? Means wrong concept is mithyatva, right concept is samyaktva. So now, wrong concept means wrong knowledge to start with, means mithyagnan, means I know that I'm knowing because an object being present. It's a wrong form of knowledge that I have. What should the right knowledge? To know that I know due to my own knowledge capacity. I know because of my knowledge mode's own capacity that I know it. I have this wall over here. Sorry. I have this limitation drawn over here that my sphere of action occurs within my things only. And so my knowledge, knowing capacity is within me. It's not because of an object being present. So here, in this slide, what we are saying, right knowledge is to know that I know due to my own knowing capacity. If I believe that object is a reason for my knowledge, then it's a wrong concept. It's a wrong knowledge. Now, once I know it, then what happens? Now I start believing that I know because of, I believe that I know because of object being present. Right faith, to believe that my knowledge occurs due to my own knowledge mode and object is simply present in an instrumental cause. Now, remember, in this wrong knowledge and wrong faith, more or less same thing we are writing, we are talking. But what's the difference? Here, to know, here, to believe. Remember, you only know, I'm sorry, you only believe what you know or what has to be present. Then and then you can have a faith on it. For example, if I say that there's a flower blooming in the sky, then you're going to say, how can I have faith with those things? Because it's impossible to have flower blooming in the sky. Or if I say that donkey has a horn on the head, then you can say, how can I believe that? Because it's impossible to have donkey having the horn on the head. So, to know and then to believe. Whenever I believe something, knowledge has to be there. So what is in this slide? Once I know that this is my sphere of action, this is my action occurring over here, when I know that part, then I can have faith on this one. If I know that this guy is a reason for my knowledge, if I know that way, then I believe that way. So knowledge is wrong, belief is wrong. So those two things are wrong that way. So I don't want to be that way. And third thing, wrong conduct. Likes and dislike occurs due to object present. This is a fantastic meal. I love that meal. Or certain things, I didn't like certain thing. So was it the meal that was the reason that you liked or disliked? No, it was the likes or dislike coming within me. But my wrong conduct says likes and dislike occurs due to object being present. For example, right now outside in the Phoenix, right now it's 102-degree temperature. Now, do I like it? Do I dislike it? It doesn't make any difference for that 102-degree temperature, whether I like it or not. It's simply there. But likes and dislikes are occurring within me due to my weakness, and object has no role to play. Somebody having arthritis, he or she will say, oh, that's a great temperature and my pains are gone. And other guy will keep on complaining over here. The object has not done anything. It is my weakness that I just decide about likes and dislikes. So these are the right concept, wrong concept, according to this the pictures that we saw over here. So my likes and dislike doesn't come from this object. My likes and dislikes occurs within me. So these are the things that we have to know that part. And let's see the next slide. Now that we know this part, how the knowledge of an object occurs, or what are the things a knowledge mode ends up knowing. So that's what we are trying to see. Object being self or alien being. So two things. Now, this was the question of Ankit, that now we are coming to that answer for that question, that knowledge can be having the knowledge of the object can be of the self and of the alien being. Object could be two things, me as a self, or the alien being could be the object. Now, self means, what is a self? Means eternal true nature of the soul. My soul, which is eternal true nature, which is there forever and it does not change. It was there from before, it's there now, it will remain in the future. And so that eternal true nature of the soul, which is there forever, it has an eternal existence, and knowledge modes end up knowing that. So that's a self-knowing, knowing the self. And other thing is alien being. Alien being, we just said four things in that one. House, money, car, family, etc. Number one. My physical body and senses, number two. My material karma, number three. And last thing, the closest thing I have is inclination of attachment and aversion, rag and dvesh. So the alien being, we are going to talk only about rag and dvesh only. In that peacock, when we put peacock as an object, instead of that, we have to put inclination of attachment and aversion. And that is my object of knowledge. So these two things are there. Self-knowing or alien being knowledge are there. Now, so how is the alien illumination occurs now? And that means, how is the inclination of attachment and aversion being known in the knowledge mode? So what it says, knowledge has characteristics of knowing self as well as alien objects that we just saw in the last slide. Alien objects, including the inclination of attachments, are illuminated in the knowledge mode. Remember, all four nature of our alien objects we described, out of which most important we are describing is elimination of the inclination of attachment and aversion, both rag and dvesh. So, an alien object being inclination of attachment and aversion, and they get illuminated in the knowledge mode. They are simply present. The bone is there in the dog's mouth. It's simply present there. And the blood comes out, the blood comes out from his own mouth. So here, alien objects, including inclination of attachment, are illuminated in the knowledge mode, right? Now, knowledge of this illumination occurs in knowledge mode. See, now this is becoming a little bit complicated, but bear with me. See, what is happening? Alien object gets illuminated, right? Okay. Now, the knowledge mode knows this illumination only. Knowledge mode knows this illumination. Let's go back to this slide quickly. We may have to refer that slide. The knowledge modes end up knowing this illumination only. It doesn't go out to look for this guy. It just stays over here and it just knows illumination. Just like the mirror. Mirror doesn't go out and say, hey, let me illuminate you. It's simply present. When you see an object getting illuminated in a mirror, means it publicizes the cleanliness of the mirror. When an object gets illuminated in the knowledge mode, then it publicizes purity of the knowledge mode. Where is that knowledge mode coming from? It's coming from knowledge attribute. Where is the knowledge attribute coming from? Soul substance. These two guys are pure forever. So the knowledge mode coming out is pure, and because it's pure, all the objects get illuminated. Take the Siddha Bhagwan. Take the liberated soul. Liberated soul has disconnected everything from a material world. All the 8 material karmas are been separated out, destroyed, and eliminated out. And now the pure soul is residing at the top of the universe, at the Adobe of Siddha. And here, because there is so much purity, this soul is sitting on the top of the universe, has purity of the knowledge attribute is also pure, and his modes are also pure, means it is the absolute perfect clean mirror. So that pure mode has all the universal substances get reflected. This Siddha Bhagwan did not go out and say, hey, you know what, I would like to illuminate within me. I would like to illuminate that thing within me. No, it's simply present, and in his mode, the whole universe get illuminated. Universe is over here. Universe is simply present. Universe does not enter in the knowledge mode. It's a illumination of the universe gets entered into the knowledge mode. So here, what we are talking here, the knowledge of this illumination occurs in the knowledge mode. So the Siddha Bhagwan knows only illumination in the knowledge mode. Same way, I also know everything, whatever is getting illuminated in my knowledge mode. The alien object means rag and dvesh, inclination of attachment and aversion. They get illuminated in my knowledge mode, and I end up knowing that knowledge mode with that illumination. Therefore, one ends up knowing this illumination of the alien object and inclination of attachment, etc., in the knowledge mode. So, illumination of the alien objects and inclination of attachment, etc., in the knowledge mode are illuminated, and I end up knowing that illumination. So it's very, very, very subtle concept, very microscopic concept. And I'm pretty sure that now you are digesting, because we are hitting this one for last three classes, you know. Soul know this knowledge mode only. Soul ends up knowing this knowledge mode. Soul does not go out of its own sphere of action and ends up knowing this mode only. Just because the objects are present, the knowledge occurs is not a true understanding. If I just say, just because the peacock was present, and that's why I end up knowing, no, that's not true. Remember, we just took that example last week, that if the light, object, and senses, 3 things are present, then the knowledge occurs. Light, object, and physical sense is present, then the knowledge occurs. Is that a true sentence? And we refuted, and we said, no, it's not true sentence. For example, if it is pitch dark, will I have any knowledge of anything at all? How will I know that there is a furniture in this room when it's a pitch dark? Well, did I know the pitch dark or not? Can I perceive the pitch dark or not? So I don't need to have a light. Sure, I mean, you know, in the pitch dark, I go and I hit the chair and I hit the bed and everything, and I fall down, I fracture. Those are different things. But number one, can I have the knowledge when there is no light present? Number one. Can I have a knowledge when there is no object being present? Or can I have a knowledge when I don't have my physical sense? Let's say I'm blind. Will I have any knowledge of any things? Sure, blind person crosses the street. How does he perceive all the things? So then we took the example of a, yes, question? No. Okay. So we took the example of a dream that I'm in the dark room. I made everything, all the lights are off. I'm sleeping. My eyes are closed. And but there is no other objects being present in front of me. I'm in deep slumber. And suddenly I'm witnessing a dream. There is a bright sunny day. And it's a coronation for me as a king. And there's a big procession going on. I'm sitting on the elephant and everybody is talking about my name. All kind of things I'm witnessing. There's a light present. There's an object present. Is there any senses present? All the things are absent. And still I'm witnessing all those things. Where did this witnessing come from? That came from my soul. So, just because objects are present, knowledge occurs is not true understanding. For example, let's say that I saw Ankit last month and I saw Chirag last month. I remember right now. I bring them in my memory. I think about them. Is the object present in front of me for knowledge to occur? No, because my soul is creating that knowledge. So this is alien illumination, means object may or may not present, but knowledge occurs within my knowledge mode for sure, independently. Knowledge of the knowledge mode pertaining to this illumination of attachment occurs. So now that we have hit this concept so hard again and again, that I end up knowing my knowledge mode, which is an illumination of inclination of attachment and aversion, which is acting as an alien illumination. So this is the way alien illumination occurs within me. Further, going further, it says soul is a knower. Does he know the alien objects? Well, knowledge mode knows its own mode only. Soul doesn't go out and look for the objects. Soul says, where is my knowledge mode? What's happening in knowledge mode? What is illuminated in my knowledge mode? That's what I know. So, does it know the alien object? No. The knowledge mode ends up knowing the illumination of the alien objects within its knowledge mode. It's a very subtle point. And you may say, why Acharya Kunkun really hit this point very, very hard? Because that teaches us the independence of substance, independence of modes also. And when there is an independence, that means it's a beautiful thing. Ankit keeps on asking that question. What about stanza number 3? What's stanza number 3? Stanza number 3 shows that when you are pure, not dependent on anything else, if my knowledge occurs because of alien object, then I have impurity, and that is not good thing. That is not purity. Purity is I remain within my confinement of my soul's properties. Soul as a substance, infinite attribute, and every moment modes occurring. And that is my sphere of action. Once I remain within that sphere of action, once I know how to remain within the sphere of action, once I cut down the alien objects, attachment, everything, that's a Samyak Darshan. That's a right faith. It's an enlightenment. It's a self-experience. So these are the things he is teaching us, the basis how I should be approaching myself. So knowing these things, let's go one more bullet in the talk. Mode is created by self and known by self also. And mode does not have knowledge of the inclination of attachment. Remember, mode means knowledge mode does not have knowledge of the influence of attachment. Influence of attachment is staying as an object. Only the knowledge mode knows the illumination of this influence of attachment within, and knowledge mode knows that part only. So Ragnu Gnan nathi, but there is knowledge of the knowledge mode pertaining to this influence of attachment. So influence of attachment is sitting as an object. It got illuminated in my knowledge mode, and now I end up knowing this knowledge mode. So I know myself only. I'm not knowing any outside material things. Then you say, wait a second, what about all the things I'm seeing? I'm seeing this light, I'm seeing this book, I'm seeing this recorder, I'm seeing my iPod, well, all those things are getting illuminated in my knowledge mode, and that's why I end up knowing them. So each time I end up knowing anything, then I have to go within and say, wait a second, because of the illumination in my knowledge mode, I end up knowing, and this illumination in the knowledge mode, which came from knowledge attribute, and this knowledge attribute belongs to the eternal soul substance. So each time I know something, I'm publicizing my eternal true nature of the self. That means I'm becoming self-centered. I'm not just going all over the world to get knowledge for everything. Once I understand within me, I end up knowing whole thing. So this is the thing that is there. Now, self-illumination. How is the self? We all talk about alien illumination. Now, how is a self-illumination occurs? Self-illumination means eternal true nature of the soul substance, which is there from before, which is there now, which will be there in the future. It remains there forever. So, and again, it's inert. Let's go back to this quickly with the other slide. That slide, as I said, we'll have to go. Okay, so this guy is inert. It's forever. It doesn't do any action. It's simply present. That's it. No doership, no nothing. Same thing, knowledge attribute, no doership, no nothing. It remains inert. So these two guys are inert. Only the changes and actions occurs in the modifications or modes or paryay. So dravya and gun are eternal. Only paryay has a changes occurring. So this paryay, which has changes occurring, it says, you know what? I end up knowing the alien objects. Now I know what is happening because I eliminated. But now this guy, soul substance, which is an inert, eternal, pure, perfect, not doing anything, I want to know him too. So he also gets illuminated here. So soul substance illumination occurs in the knowledge mode. What happens next? Let's see. Okay, so all-knowing virtue of the soul means Gnayak Bhav is pursued in the knowledge mode. The soul substance, eternal soul substance, gets also illuminated within me. Then this knowledge mode belongs to the self only. Remember, this is now getting too complicated type of thing in which the soul substance is the all-knower, has a knowledge attribute, and has knowledge mode. Okay, I'm with you. Now this knowledge mode says, hey, I'm going to illuminate you. So knowledge mode belongs to the self only. This eternal soul substance gets illuminated in the present knowledge mode. In the present knowledge mode, the eternal soul substance also gets illuminated. And eternal soul substance remains in non-doer form and is inert forever. this soul substance did not do anything. The knowledge mode said, I'm just simply reflecting or illuminating my eternal soul substance. For example, a lamp is there. I put a lamp right now in a dark room. What does a lamp do? Lamp illuminates all the objects of the present in the room. But to know the lamp, do I need another lamp to know this lamp? No, because this lamp which illuminates the whole room, it also illuminates the self. Same way, this knowledge mode illuminates all the objects of the universe, and at the same time, it also illuminates the eternal soul substance also. And that's a self-illumination. Now, only illumination occurs in the present active knowledge mode. So, eternal soul substance remains in non-doer form and is inert form, but its illumination occurs in the present active knowledge mode. This guy is inert. This guy is forever inert. But there is an active knowledge mode in which there is an illumination occurs. And so, knowledge mode knows its own state in the mode. Knowledge mode knows its own eternal state, end up knowing in the mode. So knowledge mode is illumination of the eternal self, and now that knowledge ends up knowing that mode with the illumination of the eternal self. So I, as a soul substance, has a knowledge attribute and has knowledge mode. In this knowledge mode, me as an eternal soul substance get illuminated, and knowledge mode ends up knowing that illumination. Just like that object, just like the peacock. Now instead of peacock, now it is knowing the illumination of the eternal self. Now what happens? So, all-knowing virtue of the soul means Agnayak is a soul, an object of knowing mode is a Gnay, is also soul. Now, see, this is getting, now it's becoming so compact together that all-knowing virtue of the soul, which is present there forever, and is a soul, and the object of knowing mode. Object of knowing mode. Knowing mode has known what? Knowing mode, the Gnan Paryay, knowledge mode has known what? It has known the soul substance as an object. So the Gnayak Panatma, Gnay Panatma means all knower soul substance is also the all knower, and also it becomes object. Let's go back again quickly that figure. I wish I should have put that one several times here. Okay, so this guy gets illuminated in this knowledge mode, and this knowledge mode ends up knowing this illumination. What did the knowledge mode knew? Illumination of the soul substance. So, knowledge mode ends up knowing the illumination of the soul substance, which in fact coming from the soul substance. So, all the things are getting so one thing only. It is so in a unity form that we are trying to dissect to explain. But all those things are occurring in the indivisible form in the soul substance. I'm the soul substance. My illumination occurs in the knowledge mode, and that knowledge mode came from me also. So I'm the object and I'm the subject. So both the things are the same thing. This guy is saying. So here what we are saying that that the all-knowing eternal soul substance is all-knower, and it also becomes object of knowing more. It's an all-knower from the one aspect, but it also becomes object of all-knowing more, or the object of knowing more. So the object and subject both are the same thing. That's the eternal soul substance. Object of knowledge itself is perceived in the mode. The same mode ends up knowing its mode. This mode does not know alien objects. So this mode knows only one thing, and one thing is illumination of the object, which could be alien objects or it could be self-object. So both the things get illuminated in this knowledge mode, and knowledge mode ends up knowing those guys. So here, so far we are here, and this is kind of just the beginning of the stanza. And now we are going to start the tika. Tika means, I'll just put the next slides. Tika, okay. So these are now the real thing starts with our base getting somewhat solidified, that now we have idea that action occurs within me only, and there is no reason, no interference from the outside material object, and that outside material object could be anything, including rag and dvesh, including inclination of attachment and aversion. So those things cannot bother me. They may seem to be present as an instrumental cause, but all the actions are occurring within me. So that's for the alien object. Same thing for the self-illumination. The eternal soul substance get illuminated in the knowledge mode, and knowledge mode has an action that knowledge mode ends up knowing. This guy doesn't do anything else. So that type of thing that we know it, and now that we just know it, things will become a little bit easier to understand. So here, this tika has, there are two paragraphs are there. And the first paragraph will be talking about nature of the object, means Gney Swarup. Remember, nature of the object, we talked about it. What's the nature of the alien object? What's the nature of the self object, and all those things we talk. But now we are going detail. Now we are going in real nitty-gritty details of this situation, that what we have to do here. Okay, so that will be the first paragraph. We'll be talking. We'll have lots of slides coming on that also. Those who can read Gujarati, they can. But I think it's so concentrated form that anybody can get lost over here. But we'll make it easier, because our Gurudev has made it very easy for us to understand. He kept on hitting these things again and again and again and again to make sure that a layman can understand. Second paragraph of this tika will be showing unity of doer and deed. Who is doer and what's a deed? And there is a unity of that thing. Remember, as we said, the soul substance being self get illuminated within, and there is going to be unity of that one. There is going to be indivisibility of those things that will come, and it has given a very good example over here. We'll be talking more in detail. So let's see, commentary. So how far is the time? Let me just see the time. We have 5 minutes we have, but we'll just talk a little bit over here. So it says, now some of the things what we talk in last 3 to 4 classes, all those things will be now going in real great details. So we'll be able to understand. So soul is established and existing due to self only. Remember, nobody created soul. Nobody's going to destroy soul. When we took that very first class long back, I think 2 years back or whatever, that eternal existence, my existence is due to my eternal existence attribute within me that keeps me going. There is the pillars on which the building is standing. Similarly, the soul has an eternal existence attribute, and that is the reason for the independence of the soul, that it is existing forever and it is existing due to self only. Nobody can interfere, nobody can help or hurt the existence of the soul as a substance. No need for any alien objects help for this existence. How long am I existing? Eternity. How long will I be existing? Eternity times eternity. Now, if I just say, oh, my health is good right now, I'm 67-year-old, but very healthy looking person, people just say, well, I have diabetes too, and I have this, there. So, am I existing because of my body? Am I existing because, am I getting trouble because I have diabetes? Am I getting trouble because I'm getting old? No. My soul does not need any help from for existence from any material objects of the universe. It can stand alone by its own deeds, and it doesn't need anybody else's help. This eternal soul substance is pure and without any alien attachment, because there is no need for any alien objects' help, and so it remains pure without any alien attachment. And again, Ankit, this is your stanza number 3. Why it's pure? Because eternal soul substance is pure and has no relationship with alien attachment, and that's why it's beautiful. Similarly, all the material objects also in the pure form, material objects in the pure form means a atomic, subatomic particle which is not attached to anything else, pure particle alone, and that is also absolutely beautiful. When one particle joins with the other and more and everything, then it becomes conglomeration of infinite material particles, and that is impurity. So my eternal soul substance, when it's pure and it's without attachment, when I stay in that form, then it's beautiful, and that's a liberated soul. That's the Siddhi Bhagavan. Right now, I have alien attachment in the form of karma. I have alien attachment in the form of inclination of attachment and aversion. So that's why I have impurity within me. So ignorant soul believes he has a multiplicity point of view. Now, multiplicity point of view is another great pillar for Jainism, in which the whole system is standing. So ignorant soul says, well, there's a multiplicity point of view, I believe. And what is that multiplicity point of view? He says, from certain perspective, soul exists by self, and from other perspective, it exists due to alien attachment. So from certain perspective, I exist because of myself, and from other perspective, I also exist due to alien attachment. Now, over here we are saying no need for any alien objects help for its existence, and this ignorant being says, well, yeah, there is a alien attachment is also helping the soul. That is not true form of multiplicity point of view. Multiplicity point of view will be, it will be soul exists due to self only and not due to any alien objects. Remember, multiplicity point of view will be hitting again and again and again. Let's make sure that our concepts are clear. Multiplicity point of view occurs within a given substance. Soul being a substance, then multiplicity point of view can be explained on the basis of soul being a substance in which two exactly opposite characteristics reside together. See, soul is existing from the perspective of self. Soul is not existing from the perspective of an alien object. So existence and non-existence both are occurring in the soul, and that is called multiplicity point of view. Over here, ignorant being, what did he say? The existing occurs because of self and also from the alien object. He brings two different objects to have the soul's existence. So that's a ignorant one's multiplicity point of view, which is wrong. But the real multiplicity point of view means two opposite things residing in a given substance is called multiplicity point of view. So here, soul is existing from one perspective, not existing because of other perspective. So existence and non-existence remains in a soul substance, and that's why it's called multiplicity point of view. I think we have time is up, so we will stop at this point and we'll just go any questions if you have it.
કિરીટ ભાઈ,
હા,
મેં આજે જોયું, મને સમજાઈ ગયું બરાબર. જે મારે એક પોઈન્ટ મિસિંગ થતો તો એ સમજાઈ ગયું મને આજે. અને મને આ બધી સ્લાઇડ ને ગુજરાતી અને ઇંગ્લિશમાં સમયસર મળી શકે પીડીએફ?
No, I think I did send it out to you. If not, I'll send it out. Okay, just no problem. I'll send it out to you. I think I'll put you on the mailing list so that you'll get regularly all the mails.
Okay, okay.
Kirit Uncle, can you put this audio up on the Dropbox sooner than next week?
I'm sorry?
Can you put this audio up on Dropbox fairly quickly?
Oh, yeah. I'll put it tonight. Does it make sense? Does it have any questions? Because, remember, as I told you last week also, because this is the real base that we have to understand. Once it becomes very solidly understanding in my brain, then it will be very easy to walk on the path of Samaysar. Okay.
Well, Kirit Uncle, this is a lot like the, if you recall, we went over Astitva, Vastutva,
Yes.
all the guns initially. So this is...
Yeah, this one is because of that's why I remember this. It's soul established itself only and doesn't need any objects of any alien objects is held. And that's the one actually the very first or second lecture that we did Swadhay, and that was eternal existence attribute that we are talking about,
Okay, I think one more thing is that we need to do a lot of homework to come here because it's going to get more and more complicated. Agan lesson I start joining from stanza 6 start થતું ત્યારે આગળનું બીજું ડ્રોપ બોક્સ માં થોડું હોમવર્ક હું પણ કરીને પછી પાછું.
No problem. This weekend I'm going to talk to my people in our temple, and so maybe we'll just put it on the website because Dropbox becomes full and I have to take it out. So we'll have to put it on our website and we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do the karma particles reside within the soul?
Well, listen, karma particles are material objects, and I'm the soul substance with consciousness. Now, for example, if I put this room has one light right now, for example, and it will illuminate the whole room. But if I put 1,000 lights right now in this room, they all will reside in the same room. They will confine to the same room because they are able to accommodate each other. Similarly, in the soul space point and the karma, they are two different things, but they occupy the same space point. So every space point of the soul, if you dissect, you will see tons and tons and tons of 8 different karmas present there. It will be residing in the same space point, but they'll have a separate existence. For example, if you take a milk, if you take a water and oil and you put in a flask, the flask has both the things, and you try to mix it up as much as you can. But again, definitely they will remain. They appear to be together for a while when we are mixing it up, but ultimately they will separate it out. Same way, soul and karma particle, even though they reside in the same space point, but they have their own independent existence.
Thanks.
Okay, all right, we'll just do the closing then. Javani ke gyan se suje lokalo, Vani mastika namo sada det hu dok. Namo kamdra. Namo orantana namo siddhana namo ayana namo jam namo loe sausanam. Namo orantana namo siddhana namo ayana namo jam namo loe sausanam. Namo orantana namo siddhana namo ayana namo jam namo loe sausanam. Namo siddhana namo ayana namo jam namo loe sausanam. Namo orantana namo siddhana namo ayana namo jam namo loe sausanam. Namo siddhana namo ayana namo jam namo loe sausanam. Namo siddhana namo ayana namo sausanam. Namo orantana namo siddhana namo ayana namo jam namo loe sausanam. Namo orantana namo siddhana namo ayana namo jam namo loe sausanam. Jai Gendra Michami Dukadam.
Jai Jitendra Michhami Dukadam.
Jai Janendra.
Jai Jai.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Gendra.